tie as of now just to learn. This particular year said, as much as Fred, says, and the whole crew tells me, you don't really know how to dance, but this is my year for self-care. And speaking of self-care, we're going to be discussing that this particular morning with sharpest of minds, Catherine Mtura, who's a counseling psychologist. Karibu sana.
Asante.
You're looking chic, as the French say.
Okay, I used to be a teacher too.
Oh, okay.
So I combine teaching and counseling.
So that's really where you're getting even the whole fashion sense.
Yes.
All right. And I believe that's also part of you, even the whole fashion sense, that's also a whole much of self-care.
Yes.
So before you even talk about this, first off, because we've had this conversation a number of times, and I always like to start from there, describing mental wellness.
Is mental wellness is how a person can be able to deal with daily issues without stress, knowing how to communicate, to socialize, to have good relationships, because you cannot have all those simple things without you being in total harmony with yourself. Now, the mental affects everything. It affects how you relate with each other. It affects how you do things, how you feel emotionally, physically, psychologically. So all those things, they have to work in harmony.
Right.
Yes.
And because we live, as much as, with the 21st century, but in an African setup, it's rare to talk about some of these things openly. As much as right now, you'd find in particular forums, people openly talking about and telling, someone saying, enyewe mimi niko na shida. Na hii ndio mimi shida niko nayo. But then, even in African setups, even in families, the main one, the foundation of it, actually even you're just having dinner there, ni nyama choma, mmekata nyama choma, alafu unasema, ngojeni kuanza kidogo, mimi niko na shida. Where does this come from really? Because when you start even the self-care, the family should live and help you because you're really looking out to them.
Okay.
So where's the root of all this really?
It is the way we are socialized. Especially, I'm going to say this, especially men, when they are suffering, they don't say it. They suffer in silence. The good people, they have good points, is the women. We may talk about it, whatever. They are good in gossip, but in that gossip, they tell. But men, they tend to keep. And if you look at our society today, who are killing themselves? Majority are men, because they die in silence. Those are things, they are taboo. They don't want to say it. So those taboos we have to and it's a stigma. Anytime you have anything to do with mental, you are called ata, huyu ni mwenda.
Oh, yes.
But when you are suffering from, let's say, high blood pressure. Most of people suffer from high blood pressure, sugar. Nobody talks about ni mwenda. Lakini the society, we have to start from there. We have to educate our people in churches, in schools, colleges. Now, other people that need to know is the police. Look at how many they shoot at each other. Nobody shoots at another person knowing. Those are people that need to be socialized properly. Our social structure, it fails us. We don't, there are some things we call it under the carpet.
Oh, yes.
Even if you know, just put it there. And when you tell your friends, most of the friends are going to talk about it. Siata aliniambia.
Oh, yes.
Aliniambia kichwa kimeruka. Then when you do that, you are not helping. Sometimes it's better to be quiet. If you don't have anything to say, shut it up. Just go.
And interestingly enough, even as we talk about, putting them under the carpet, as I was raising the whole family setup, but then now here comes even the school setup. Right now the schools have, opened, and they'll run until, I think, around April there. And all this time, the parents themselves have left the whole duty of even listening and all that. Majority of the time that the children are with the teachers and not even the parents, those who are in boarding and all that. Do we have, as a society, do we have forums that are really open, open spaces really to talk about some matters?
I don't think we do. And one thing I'm going to give you, something that you might not know. I used to be a high school teacher.
Oh.
And I left and I went to the States.
A boys' school or a girls' school?
A boys' school. So that's why I understand men. So after that, I left and I went to the States, did some studies and taught there too, and became a counselor. So here, we don't have the venue. And that's why I'm saying to sensitize. Even in schools, the ministry should allow counselors like me. I used to be a high school teacher. And if I ask the ministry to go, they tell me I have to be vetted. I used to teach there for 15 years. If I corrupted them, they were corrupt anyway. So they never fired me anyway.
Sorry to cut you. Did you used to do the counseling in the school?
No, those times we didn't have counselors. What you did was to have KRA. They are called KRA, the teachers who teach the Bible.
Okay.
We are told to talk to the kids. There's a difference between talking to the students and counseling. So we didn't have counselors, but now they are there. They are few, but the ministry should have people to go and address the students. Some of them don't know that they need help. And if you talk to them in a very friendly way, we counselors, we are trained. Even if it's somebody who has done something bad, you tell them, we make them feel they are really not bad, it's what they did. You have to differentiate, make them feel good. When they are coming to you, they feel they are coming somewhere where it's safe. So in schools, that's what should be done. Because the kids today, I hear some kids killing themselves in 4th grade. That's something that is mental. And that's why we need all the society sensitizing, making it is not a taboo. It's a disease. Somebody can have it, and anybody can lose it and have what we call breakdown. So it's very important for us to know and take it, believe that is something that can happen. And there are ways to deal with it. There are ways, if you feel that you can do it and you can help yourself, knowing we are talking about how to help yourself, things you can do. For example, ourselves, you don't even say hello these days. You pass each other like, I say hello to everybody.
So basically, self-care even begins from there?
From there.
From just saying hello.
When you wake up, just say, hi, how are you?
How important is that really?
It's very important. It makes you feel good. It makes the other person feel good. Say hello. An old person is passing or a neighbor. Just go there and say, hi, how are you doing? How is your day? That instead of making her feel bad, causing pain, say a good word. Just tell somebody something encouraging. It is helping you and is helping the other person. The way you feel is what you give to the other person. If you are not feeling good, you are going to tell somebody something that will hurt. But if you are feeling good, start with you. Go for a walk. If you don't feel good, go for a walk. Sing a song. Do something that you like or you love. Each and every of us has something that you like. You might, like the young men, like to listen to music.
Oh, yes.
Listen to music and dance. You don't have to have anybody to dance. Dance with yourself, because it starts with you. If you're not happy yourself, you're not going to make anybody else happy.
Right.
Start with you.
Right. And even on that note, just a reminder even for the viewers, be part of this conversation. We're curious, what are your tips and tricks when it comes to bettering your self-care, really? What do you do, really, from the morning all the way to the evening? Talk to us. Number 2047 SMS number at TV47 KE. I'm curious because when it came December, and each and every December, there's always that meme that this is the time that I'm cutting people off, so that when I start January, I start on a clean slate. Is that also part of someone's self-care? really cutting, you're taking a look at your contact list. You have about 500 people there. You only talk to about, let's say, a quarter or an eighth of those contacts. You review, is that healthy? Reviewing your contact list and saying, huyu siongeangi naye, atusaidiani, wacha delete number.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
No, there isn't, because some people are toxic. There are some people, when you put them in your list, instead of building you up, they destroy you. So you have to check, who are your friends? Know even those contacts, who tells me something, whom can we talk something and I feel good. When you have good friends, they talk to you, they write something good about you. They say how they are doing. Those are people who are making you feel good. There's nothing as good and important as feeling good. Don't go to people who just tell you, oh, like now I look at you and I say, oh, you would be better off wearing that gray. No, I say, you know, I love yours. I didn't even give you a compliment. I like the way you are dressed. I like your hair. Your glasses look good. Oh, and you have a beautiful smile. That you have already, yes, you have already built someone. Don't tell them how they should be. No.
Yeah. But then, I mean, you know, people are raised in different societies, and you talk about high school, and this reminds me, my first week of high school was quite interesting, you know. The Form 1, because right now, this is actually the first week of them. I mean,
yes.
We joined last week, so right now they're still trying to understand the different societies there. Even for the people who are in national schools, it's a whole pool of people from different backgrounds. And you meet someone there, you know, let's even from Form 4, Form 3, Form 2, and they're looking at you and they're like, wewe unakaje, nini. I mean, for someone, how do you learn to have that, you know, thick skin, so that even as much as you're going to tell me, you know, you don't look good, you don't look good in those, you're not a good performer. You can have that thick skin in yourself so that you learn, I was told this, but then I know this is me.
Yeah, but you have to understand the person who is telling you is the one who is in the wrong. It's not you. If that person was feeling good, that's why I'm telling you to sensitize even the students in schools. When they come, the ones that have been there, they should be sensitized how bad it feels when you put somebody down. Because if they had something better to say, they would have said it. But they don't know. We usually give what we have. If you don't have anything good to give, you give whatever you have. So the best thing is to sensitize the students. And counselors, that is their work. Actually, I'll give you a good example.
Okay.
The little kids, even, you know, it is good to compare where you have been and what you have done. The kids in the States, they are taught, if you see somebody big, because they have many big people, very big, don't you say that. You know what they tell you? She isn't big, it is the big bone. The person is really huge, but they don't laugh at them. Because they have been sensitized, it's not good. We are not all the same.
And you raise a very interesting point here, because I mean, there is, as much as, you know, you're saying, well, you should know that the other person is in wrong, but then someone would say, well, there's positive criticism. As much as I tell you, you know, let's even in the whole school setup, really, because, you know, 70% of the youth are really in that, such kind of a forum. You'd say you're not performing well. Just that statement, you're not performing well, that might be positive criticism. So how do you develop thick skin to understand, I'm taking this as positive criticism, and I should maybe work on them?
The point is, the person who is telling you you are not performing well, if he's a teacher or she's a teacher, she should show you how you should perform well. If it is another student, ask him, how should I do it? There's no way of telling somebody you're not performing well if you're not coming in to help. If I tell you that your food tastes bad, then if I am good, let me show you how to cook it.
So how should I take it then?
It is not positive, but you should tell somebody, then how do I do it?
Okay.
Yeah, how do I do it? And then somebody will feel, okay, I'm empowered, then let me show this person. When somebody becomes negative to you, don't turn it with another negativity. You know, you destroy negative people that way. When somebody comes and tells you, you look okay, which way do you think it would be good? Then somebody feels, wow, the fire I had has been really like, imeisha. Negative people, they are there. You have to know how to deal with them. Don't be negative just because somebody is negative. Tell them, okay, how do you think I should do it? And just smile. Because you take it, the person wants to help you. And sometimes you analyze wrongly. So the best thing is take it, throw it back in a very nice way, positive way. So how do I do it? Tell me. And you just let it go. It's good. So high school, they should know.
And so how does someone open up to whichever forum? Let's say, again, even in schools, to students, to parents, even to teachers. How do you, the first step of opening up and saying you're probably niko na shida nisaidie?
Okay, usually mostly in schools or anywhere else, counselors are very good. They welcome you. Okay, how are you doing? We can talk. What do you want us to talk about? And you are very, you give the person time, give them space, and you don't judge them. It spreads like fire. Or if you go to the counselor will tell you, you look good, and you look, encouraging words, and then they start feeling good, they would come back to you. You didn't say anything bad about them. Somebody might have told you, or he comes, have been told I'm bad, I fight. Okay, tell me, what do you think yourself? Especially when you smile to someone who comes to your office, it's not a made-up smile, the real smile. Okay, tell me, what about yourself? What do you think? That one kills somebody and says, okay. I'll give you an example. When there was this bomb blast, I used to go to TSA because people were really, they were, maybe you were young then, but they were really feeling bad. Then I used to talk about the women. The men never came. Then they asked them, I told you about men. So they asked the women, why do you go and see that woman, you come smiling? Then they said, go and see her. So when they came, when we talked and then they went smiling, the women asked, why are you smiling? We know why you are smiling, because you are not judged, you feel comfortable, and the woman takes you to and listens. There's nothing as good as listening. It's called what? Positive listening. You just listen to somebody, let them talk to you. It's very important.
And earlier you had alluded to the fact that how different men would react than women. Women would tend to talk about and be open to talking rather than men. In your experience, how do men? Because at the end of the day, even as a man, I'd probably have my own source of letting go. So in your experience, how do men usually do their self-care? Because at the end of the day, I mean, even for a man saying you have your own self-care, because even how you look, people would be looking at you, other men would be looking at you like, unakuaje na self-care?
The self-care, these days it is changing, and it's good, positive. We should take the little changes. Men these days are taking care of themselves, believe you me. Our men those days, most of them don't care. Maybe your dads, any care much. It's the wives who get the shirt and everything for them so that they can dress well. Today, you people, you are dressing well. And you go for sports because playing games, it's very important. What do you do after work instead of just going to drink? Because drinking is another problem that we are not good. I don't think we are going to touch on drinking. Believe you me, drinking after work every day, that's not a good one. But if you have something else to do, some people like painting, they can paint. They can do something totally different. You can volunteer in a school and to talk to the boys. There are so many other things you can do instead of just sitting. It's very important. Our men need to open up. If you find me with the men, even the old one, I like to talk to men Because they usually, they're introverts. They can hurt without you knowing. You might think that you are friends, but it's right here. Here, what is going on here, they don't say.
And before you talk about boundaries, you raised an interesting point of view, how the red flags to take a look at for both even men and women separately.
Yeah.
And even in that family, unit, you're living with someone, but then there are those red flags that you should take a look at and see, huyu amenyamaza in a way, so I should be the one ask them, how are you?
Yes.
So which red flags should you take a look at?
For example, if somebody was, you know somebody for some years, somebody talks a lot, and is always asking how things are. When things are not working well, they starting slowing down. The talking goes, how are you? Fine. And that's it. This is not somebody who just says fine. Somebody who says fine and explains. If you can see changes, you can see they don't sleep well. Sleep doesn't come. And if they were not sleeping well, they sleep completely. Analala hataki kuamka. Anapeana examples that he is not going anywhere. He doesn't feel like going to work. Somebody who used to go to work every day. Somebody who enjoys waking up, taking a shower, all those changes. Analala anaamka usiku. And then if it is drinking, he wasn't drinking, then analala akikunywa mmoja, then tomorrow anakunywa tena, anaongeza. Those things, they were not there. Somebody who was eating well stops eating well. There are so many things that they do until you see this is not right. Mtu analala for a long time. Na unaona, kila wakati unasema, we always say about depression. Mtu ananyamaza, hakuwa na mtu mnyamavu, lakini ameanza kunyamaza. Anakula sana. You know, overeating is not good either.
For real?
Yes.
I feel like you're talking directly to me.
Yeah, we might, no, I can't say anything there. If you are overeating, then I would see the results of the food. No?
But then my director ananiambia ni kama niko na psychological problem. Before we wrap it up, and even before I get your last thoughts, matters, boundaries, I mean, how important is that really? Even for closest, probably even if it's a couple, you probably share a lot, but then how important really is boundaries when it comes to self-care?
No, boundaries are very important. If you have taken your time, you are going somewhere, everybody should know, so that nobody interferes with that time. That is your time. Everybody, even as a couple, you are not immersed. You know, like the couples that before you finish the word, the other one finishes. Oh, yes. You are immersed in each other.
We are king jumper, we are queen.
That is, that is not, no, it should grow. The boundaries, that means your time is your time. Somebody unajiweka hivi. There are some things that you don't tell. If you're comfortable, you don't have to share. You have to have things for yourself. And there are some places like the members of the family wanataka kujua jana mlikula nini, mlilala saa ngapi, mtaenda lini. That's none of their business.
Kuona nani?
Ebu nikwambie, Kenyans wanakuuliza, when did you come here? And they want to know, how did you go there? You know what, let me tell you a good one. That's none of your business.
That's none of your business.
That's not your business. If you tell a Kenyan like that, they get very upset. But I have come to know Kenyans need to be told the truth. Don't ask me, how well do you know those people? It's none of your business. I know them my way. But Kenyans will want you to tell them, I knew them when we were in high school. That's none of their business. Your boundaries, you have to show people there's just right here, just like here. Don't come and sit on here. Yes. You can sit right here at the end, but don't come here. This is my space.
Respect my space.
Respect my space. The same thing. The boundaries, you are home. If you are a single man, your mother, your brother is like, what time did you sleep? You have a girlfriend. It's none of their business. When you want to let them know, you tell them, today, I'm bringing my girlfriend. Don't be told that's not the one that is good. No. That is my domain. It's called the domain. Huku ni kwangu. What I eat, what I do, when I do it, with whom, that is mine. You feel proud of your space. That's important. Yep.
Like that's one line I'm going to be using this year.
Yeah, it's none of your business.
That is none of your business.
No, Kenyans, they feel strange. Like me, you know, I'm an old lady. Si wananiuliza, how did you go to the States? Did you get married to someone? Let me tell you something. I just came to know you today. If I'm writing a book, I'll write it and you read it. And I haven't done it. Kenyans don't like that. But they have to know it has to start somewhere. You cannot be asking somebody questions that are so personal. Na hata hatuna hiyo. Ulijuaje?
Even as we wrap it up, let's say someone is in that particular process of, I mean, they're talking to someone, you know, so how do they, the consistency of talking to someone and, you know, let's say healing and also self-care. Talk to us about that, even as you give us your final thoughts.
About the way you, the self-care, I talked about things that you can do. You have to, I mentioned a lot of things, little things that are not going to cost you anything. Self-care doesn't cost you anything. Smiling doesn't cost you anything. Talking to somebody where it doesn't cost you anything. Doing something that you love doesn't cost you anything. If it is women, they like cooking. Men like to, they can also
paint. I also love cooking.
Yeah, you can cook. Just to make yourself feel good about it. Those are self-care. And then if you feel that you cannot handle it, please don't keep it to yourself. Ask for help. That's why we are here, the counselors. And I wanted to tell people where I am so that if they want
yes,
to...
please, yes, please.
Yes, I am a counselor. I have a rehabilitation center and a hospital. It's called Hopewell Medical and Rehabilitation Center in Ongata Rongai. My number is 0705-290-695. And another one too, because I know an office line, 0749-246-799. Those are our numbers. And therefore, when I'm not talking to people, I'm there to counseling, dealing with the people who have been drinking a lot and people who have mental issues. Believe you me. Believe you me, there are many.
They actually say 1 in every 5. I'm pretty sure this particular room, we are quite more than that. So, tuchunguze hayo.
Not only that, there are so many mental issues. There is a book called DSM.
Oh, yes.
It has lots of, so if you are checked by psychiatrists here, we might be having about 5 of us that have issues. But you can survive with medication and with counseling.
Asante sana.
Yes.
Catherine Mutura, counseling psychologist. I feel like the past 30 minutes have been a whole
Is it 30 minutes yet?
Oh, yes. Past 30 minutes, quite a short, felt like a short time, but an interesting, session with you. And personally felt like a whole, session, one-on-one counseling, hapa hivi na pale. And I hope you've also, learned a lot. If you're looking for whole takeaway on this year, make sure that, tell people that is none of your business. Learn to tell people that also D&D, weka do not disturb, and usisumbuliwe. Learn to self-care. But then I told you we'll be getting into some dancing a little bit later on. But then before that,